Hey folks, Quest for Gear. As you can see, I have borrowed a Fostex R8. Quest for Gear, like and subscribe if you want to. Home amateur recording. We make records in our basement. Been doing it for a long time. So long, in fact, that these quarter-inch tapes are, 27, 28 years old. 28 years old, these quarter-inch tapes. I think they used to cost, even back 27 years ago, we're talking, I don't know, 97, 98. They used to cost... So I want to say they were $30, $40 back then. Also, we had to buy a DAT tape, digital audio tape. I guess that stands for digital audio tape. Is that what DAT stands for? Elisa says DAT. Because you had to mix down to something. Just letting this roll right now. Let's just check on this really quick. I got to kind of monitor that. I'm transferring into my Tascam Model 24. Making digital archives. Going from the R8 into the Tascam Model 24, and I'm doing it at 24-bit 44.1. Sorry, I just got to kind of monitor this so I can stop it. Yeah, a friend of mine, Ben, lent me the R8. Very thankful that he did. And it's been going okay. So you're like, well, why are you going to the Tascam Model 24? Well, because it's really easy. I got my RCA, my quarter-inch, into my RCA into my quarter-inch, goes into the Tascam Model 24. I'm not even using the computer. Look where the keyboard is. Look where the mouse is. I'm not even using the computer. So the Tascam just makes it easy, and it is 24-bit 44.1. Oh, I just want to catch this really quick. So that's the second pass. I'm doing two passes. I'll explain that in a second. I want to talk about tape in a second. I just got to wait for this to peter out. That should be just about it. So I'm going to hit stop on the Tascam, and I'm going to hit stop on the Fostex. There we go. So I just did another song. I've done 4 songs off this tape, and I'm going to do 4 songs off this quarter-inch tape. I guess that's what about they must have held. Or at least safely, that's what we were putting on them, is about 4 songs. And our songs were 2 to 3 minutes, sometimes 4 or 5 minutes. So, yeah, I couldn't tell you without looking it up what 456 quantity, 456 tape, how many songs it would hold. But I can tell you, we were looking like we were averaging 4 songs per quarter-inch tape. Why am I doing 2 passes? Because I don't know if the guy who engineered it, his name was Dennis. I don't know if Dennis had Dolby on or off. That's the Dolby noise reduction. You can see here I have it off. On the Fostex R8, you just come over the machine and you hit a little switch. And now you can see that the light is out, meaning Dolby noise reduction is on. It's Dolby C noise reduction. So ideally, when you do your transfer, you want to transfer it the same way the guy recorded it had it on. Well, I can't tell. And you're supposed to be able to tell by listening back. Well, I can't tell that either. I just can't tell. So I'm going to do 2 passes. I'm going to do 1 pass with Dolby on, 1 pass with Dolby off. It's no big deal. It just means I do the song twice. No problem. So I have it on my Tascam now. So I'm going to rewind. I'm going to set all my tracks 1 through 8 because the Fostex R8 is obviously only an 8-track. I'm going to set them all to multi-track. Let's do the studio slide here. Whee! All right, and then we're going to just play this back for a minute. And it should play back what I just did on the R8. Any minute now. There we go. What is there to say about a man named Lyle? Betty's one. I hate that man. He's ruined my plan today. And it sounds great. That's the Tascam Model 24 playing back. No tricks, truly. That is the transfer from the R8 to the Tascam Model 24. Let me tell you about tape. I haven't used tape in a long time. I started on 4-track. I used to 4-track all the time. I love the sound of tape. I'm not trying to be one of them D-bags, that's like, it's warm and it's vintage and it's punchy and I love it and the guy at Guitar Center loves it. But I don't want to be that guy, But I am that guy. You ever see that sketch on Portlandia where they make fun of the guy that's just like, this is the mic they used in Pet Sounds. this is the mic they used at Pet Sounds, dude. This here mic right here is the one. Sorry, but that is me. They're making fun of me. Go watch that Portlandia sketch. Jack White actually guest stars. Spoiler alert. When you see the sketch of that stereotype of that studio guy who has to have the mic that they use to record Pet Sounds, that D-bag is me. They're making fun of me. I can't help it. I don't know. They don't know me. Fred Armisen and that, what's her name? Carol, is that her name? From that band, Slater Kinney. They don't know me, but somehow they know my stereotype. I'm a living joke. I'm a living stereotype of, I gotta have the mic from Pet Sounds. And let me explain how that translates to tape. I put this tape on this evening. This tape hasn't been played for, let's say, 27 years. Actually, it was last played in 2003. We got a transfer out of this deal in 2003. That's still like 20 years ago, 23 years ago, something like that. 18, whatever it is. How does the tape sound? Sorry to be the stereotypical D-bag, okay? But it sounds great. It sounds amazing. Everything you've heard about tape is right. It sounds warm. I don't know that it sounds punchy. I mean, we didn't put this through API preamps. We weren't going for punch. This Pseudo Star was a pop rock band, We like the Smashing Pumpkins. We like Nirvana. We like the Beatles and Led Zeppelin. We're a pop rock band. I don't know that we were going for punchy, but so I wouldn't say this sounds punchy, but it sounds warm. And it sounds ready to go, and it sounds naturally compressed. It just does, and I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that D-bag on YouTube or the joke on Portlandia. I'm a living joke, Oh, it's punchy, dude, and it's warm, and it's vintage, dude. Well, yeah, sorry, it is. It just is. Is it better? Yeah, it sounds better. I'm not going to apologize for that. It sounds better than digital. Now, I do over here, let me get my light, let me move my light over here. Maybe we could see a little bit better. I do have the Rupert Neve 542 tape sim. I only have one mono, so I do get to play with that, and I'm going to appreciate this 500 series module even more now that my ears and my brain are even more used to, the love of tape, the refresh of my love of tape. So this is going to help. Plus, you guys, there's the Waves. What's it called? The J37. You guys have that one. I think Sean Courtwright uses the Wave 237. There's the Universal Audio 102. There's also, Universal Audio has a couple tape sims. Softtube has tape sims. So you can get the tape simmy goodness on the computer. Now, Numb Thumb over at Warheart, who's a very learned, studied, technical man, he will tell you that true saturation cannot be done in the digital realm, that you do need to do it here. He has a video, I'll link to it. It's a great video about saturation. It opened my mind, my eyes, and my ears. I will link to Warheart's saturation video so you can check it out. He will argue that the plugins of the computer will not give you the tape saturation. The Waves J37 and the Universal Audio, 102. I believe I have all the Universal Audio plugins that have to do with tape, I'm pretty sure. And they're okay. But I do really like this Rupert Neve 542. Getting off topic, how did the tape sound? Oh, it sounds amazing. Sounds amazing 20 years later. It sounds so good. Vibey, warm, ready to go. It just can't be beat. Now, the rest of it sucks. The fact that I feel like this machine is going to break anytime. When you hit this and the whole thing kind of goes, oh, I'm ready to work. Like, let's just hit it for, oh, I'm ready to work. And it clicks and it ticks. And it's, magnetizing itself, and it needs alcohol, and there's rubber bands and capacitors. Like, this thing makes me nervous, okay? Whereas the Tascam Model 24, at least when it screws up, you just throw it in the dumpster, right? Unless you're going to go to Tascam Repair, Or unless you want to go to Long and McQuaid, if you got warranty there, and screw around for 6 months, you can go to Long and McQuaid, and the guy, the kid will go, because he doesn't know. He was never trained on mixing boards, right? So he just thinks that you're scamming him. So they send the board away to Montreal twice, and they don't know. Well, that's not exactly the story, but the long and the short is I received poor support from Long and McQuaid when I had to send one of these back. And also the moral of the story is I've had many Tascam Model 24s with quality control issues. Bad this, bad that. I could go through it. You guys don't care. Most of you don't believe me. Most of you think I'm dumb. That's fine. But it does not change the reality of the situation that I've had many bad Tascam Model 24s. But having said all that, do I trust this over this? Absolutely. This thing's old, man. This thing's from the 90s. This thing has capacitors and belts and clicky parts and chimey parts and clangy parts. And this thing makes me nervous. Well, it's just running. I'm like, this thing is going to pop its Capistan or whatever these things are called. This thing's going to pop any minute. So I just want to get my tapes transferred to digital, and then I'm out. I'm putting this thing back in the case and sending it back to the guy I borrowed it from. And that'll be it for me. That'll be the history of me and tape, unless I win the lottery. And then I will get one of them big fat 16-track tape things down here. But I mean, a guy would have to win a couple $1,000,000 to go on that journey to maintain one of them bad boys. But anyway, this is the story of me transferring the very last of my orphaned media from the Fostex to the Tascam Model 24. And Steve Albini, rest in peace, always said, with a tape at least, if he went across 30, 40 years of his career, with tape, he could always lift it off for the band. He said he would record a band early. Let's say he recorded a band in 1987, and they didn't get big till 1992. Well, now he needs to go back in the archive and get their stuff. Well, if you've been on a Roland VS2000 and an SD that and a DS that and a X2 this and an X5 that and Cubase and Logic and all that stuff, good luck. I've been there myself. You can't always go back and pull your own media. Try to load up Windows 95 and load up Adobe Audition right now. I mean, you could do it, but it's pain, man. Go try to load your copy of Pro Tools 3. It's painful, man. Like the ones from the Home Pro Tool. Anyway, I don't want to get into it. The point is Steve Albini was right. The only true archive media over half a century is tape. Although I think that will change with raw waves. The Tascam Model 24 uses raw waves. Reaper uses raw waves. They're just wave files. 16-bit, 24-bit, 44.1, 48 kilohertz. They're just wave files. So I think Steve Albini should have maybe finished that with, well, that's how it was. Tape was the true archive format. Going forward, I think these raw waves, these zeroed out raw waves, is going to save the day. But yeah, this has been a real joy, transferring from the R8 to the Tascam Model 24. As I said, each song is getting 2 passes, one with Dolby on and one with Dolby off, because I just can't tell. I just can't tell how the engineer did it. Did he have the Dolby on or the Dolby off? I don't know. So when I go to use this stuff, which I am going to use this stuff because I'm going to put this Pseudo Star album on vinyl, I'll just listen back and I'll just have to make a decision. Are we using the Dolby on tracks or the Dolby off transfers? I'll have to make that decision. The other thing I am doing, so you see me doing it to the Tascam Model 24. The other thing I will do is I will do all of this over again. All of it over again, but into Reaper, so that I have yet another separate, distinct copy on my computer, and from the Mac, it'll go on this external drive, and from there, I have servers. This is my server room. It's my junk room, but I also have servers in there. And it'll get stored in the Quest for Gear server archive. But hey, yammering about Fostex R8s and Tascam Model 24. I do a quick short on how to put the tape on this bad boy too. I never knew how. I've recorded into these back in the 90s, but I never put my hands on one, so I had to figure it out. I did figure it out. I glanced the manual and figured it out. But anyway, hey, it is Quest for Gear. Consider giving me a like and subscribe if you want to, or Check out all these. Check out all these ghouls, goblins, and gremlins. Look at this guy. Look at that guy. John Dotson, a John Dotson 920. Add searching for tone. Look at these dudes. C.D. Nelson, what? Anyway, Quest for Gear. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.